Believe it or not, these two smartphones actually have a lot of things in common. Although these two phones, yes, they are made from different manufacturers, running totally different operating systems. But the Pixel phone lineup, it's one of the best options if you're just looking for a pure Android device, especially this one since it's directly from Google. And iPhones, well, they never once had bloatware by the cellular company, which is nice. So if you're looking for like the pure operating system experience, these are gonna be your two choices. But the Pixel 4a is the newest addition to the Pixel lineup, as this one is replacing the previous Pixel 3a for being the most affordable Pixel phone. And the iPhone SE is Apple's answer to the entry-level budget iPhone. Now, an important thing to definitely consider when choosing between these two is the design and the texture that's used between these two devices. For instance, the iPhone SE has a more premium feel, as the chassis is made out of aluminum and glass, which has its pros and cons, while the Pixel 4a is just made out of this plastic-like material, which really does feel plasticky. But the pros about having a glass back on the iPhone SE is that it supports wireless charging, while the Pixel 4a does not. But with the Pixel 4a, since it has a plastic body in the back, there's no fear of having to be concerned if the back will shatter like the iPhone SE can. Honestly, most users are just going to put a case on their devices, so there's no need to fear about the shattering glass on the backside of the iPhone SE. But if you do run your phone bare, the Pixel 4a may be the right selection for you. And also, the plastic texture is less slippery compared to glass. Now, in terms of overall design, the Pixel 4a definitely does have a modern look. This is typically the look that modern day cell phones are starting to look like. And this one actually has the cookie cutout around the camera lens in the front, which honestly isn't really noticeable. It's only noticeable if you're actually looking directly at that hull. But when you're just navigating the phone and stuff, applications have it so optimized that this part would just blend with the black status bar on top of your cell phone. Whereas the iPhone SE is using the now iconic classic look of the first generation iPhones. So by looking at it, it can feel a tad outdated, especially when you consider how large the notches are on the top and the bottom side of the screen. But this home button is a solid state button, and the feedback that it gives was the haptic engine. Apple really did a fantastic job in perfecting this because it still feels like I'm pressing on a physical button. And the cool thing is about that solid state button is fully customizable. But screen size, however, yes, when you compare these two side by side, the iPhone SE does have the smaller screen as it is a 4.7 inch display, while the Pixel 4a has an inch larger display as it's rated 5.8, which happens to also be an OLED display. Now, individually by themselves, both of these screens in my opinion look fantastic, but the Pixel 4a is the only one of them two with this entry-level price that is actually using an OLED display, which is rated at 60 Hz. In my opinion, the OLED display is much more pleasant to look at compared to the iPhone SE, as it still is using an outdated but really good LCD display that Apple perfected among the years. But when you have the two side by side, I do prefer looking at the OLED display because the dark pixels are actually turned off and it just looks more pleasant to look at, especially when you're watching videos or viewing images compared to the iPhone SE's display, as those dark pixels still illuminate some light, giving like a dark gray effect. It's not purely black like how it looks like on the Pixel 4a. In terms of gaming, as I previously mentioned, both of these displays are rated at 60 Hz. So when it comes to playing mobile games on both of these devices, both perform really great. Just however, on the Pixel 4a, it is using a mid-tier processor as it has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G. And what does that mean in the real world? Well, I have noticed while simply operating the phone that it does tend to stutter once a while, ever so often, but it never was so bad that it just caused me to rage and throw the phone. Meanwhile, the iPhone SE is actually using the latest processor that's currently found on even the high-end iPhones. So the iPhone, from my personal experience, performs a lot smoother compared to the Pixel 4a. Now, in terms of internal specs, the Pixel 4a is the only one that actually comes standard with 124 gigabytes of internal storage, and it also has 6 gigabytes of RAM. Whereas the iPhone SE, the entry-level model, comes standard with only 64 gigabytes of internal storage. You gotta pay extra if you want to match the 124 gigabytes that the Pixel 4a already comes equipped with, but can be configured up to 200 gigs if you want. Now, to some, this could be the deal breaker, especially knowing that both of these do not have support for expandable storage. And then even though the iPhone SE only has 3 gigabytes of RAM, it performs just fine, less than half the amount that's found on the Pixel 4a. as iPhones have always been well known to perform really great without that much RAM. Now, when it comes to taking pictures, both of them actually take fantastic photos. In my opinion, they all hit the check mark when it comes to photo taking standards. It's really difficult to even notice the difference unless you label them. It's crazy to see that even these entry-level phones can take these marvelous looking photos. Really, at this point, the only way you could improve them if you use editing software like Lightroom and such. And then in terms of capturing video, both of these, as I previously mentioned, can shoot 4K. Just however, it's only the iPhone SE that's able to shoot 4K at 60 FPS, while the Pixel 4a can only shoot at 4K at 30 FPS, no higher. The iPhone SE has a 12 megapixel camera, where the Pixel 4a has a 12.2 megapixel camera. The size differences is not really that noticeable. And when it comes to slow motion footage, the iPhone SE can shoot 240 FPS in high definition, while the Pixel 4a can also do slow motion. I just happen to forget the FPS rate, but I'll have it right there on the screen. Portrait mode is available on both of these devices. Just however, on the iPhone SE, portrait mode is only supported on humans, while on the Pixel 4a, you could use it on any subject, including your pets and such. Now, the front-facing camera, both of them shoot high-definition footage. Just unfortunately, a now standard feature that I'm seeing more flagship phones come equipped with is night sight or night mode. The iPhone SE does not have this mode, unfortunately, so it relies on its flash whenever you take those night photos. The Pixel 4a does have night sight support. You could take some awesome looking photos at night with very little light to capture some amazing looking shots. But pano mode and everything else, both of them share these same features. Now, the Pixel 4a is only available in one color option, and this is just black. If you notice, the power button does have a shade of a minty blue color, while the iPhone SE can be purchased in 3 color choices to choose from. You got the product red, and the choice between black or white. In my opinion, I think the white one looks amazing because the front part of the display actually has some black borders, so it blends in quite nicely. But it's only the iPhone SE that actually has a real water resistant rating, as the iPhone SE is rated IPS 67, whereas the Pixel 4a does not have a water resistant rating. But since it doesn't have a water resistant rating, it does have a headphone jack, which in my opinion is probably one of the only newest phones out there currently that got recently released that still has a headphone jack. Not even the Pixel 4 has a headphone jack nowadays. I was really surprised to know that the 4a still carries the headphone jack. Now, fingerprint scanner is what's used on both of these, and in my personal opinion, both are extremely responsive. No issues here whatsoever. In fact, I kind of prefer this at times over Face ID or other face unlock sensors. Now, when it comes to operating system exclusive between these two devices, the quick layout is basically this. With the Android phone, you do have the auto wake feature, which I personally love. It's just a lot more convenient to having to pick up your device to see your notifications instead of having to tap on the screen or tap the power button to wake up the display. And then some exclusive Pixel features is the ability to detect the music name that's playing. So whenever you just leave your phone casually out and you're in the store and it's playing music, you want to quickly know what song is playing. In the background, the Pixel is always identifying songs for you. And then another really interesting feature is the live captions. Then the Pixel also has call screen, which basically is just your Google voice assistant answering calls on your behalf, like a office assistant. And you can see the conversation right there on your display. In other words, if you get like a lot of spam callers, telemarketers, they're just gonna have a conversation with the robot. On Apple iOS, very similar to that call feature. On iPhone, there's a similar feature that's somewhat handy. It'll automatically identify unknown callers and send them directly to voicemail to reduce those spam robocalls. And then if you own other Apple devices, you have access to the Apple ecosystem, which unlocks unique abilities such as AirDrop, which allows you to quickly transfer files from your PC or other Apple devices in just a matter of seconds without having to connect it to a wire or drop it on an online storage cloud. But that is basically it when it comes to operating system exclusives between these two devices. But all in all, in my opinion, the Pixel 4a isn't a bad phone. It has all the important stuff that you expect a flagship to have, like fast charging. This thing supports it. The iPhone SE does as well, but for $50 less, you not only get fast charging, you also have a larger storage capacity, fantastic camera, and you get an OLED display. Then with the iPhone SE, you get a very powerful chipset inside. And when it's not compared to an OLED display, the LCD display on the iPhone SE still, in my opinion, is one of the best LCD displays available in the market. And it's cool that it does wirelessly charge. But that's basically the important loadout when it comes to choosing between these two budget alternatives. Honestly, this is all just a personal preference as both have their own pros and their own cons. If you already are a part of the Apple ecosystem with AirPods, Macs, and you can't go wrong with the SE. But if you're the complete opposite and you don't have anything Apple, I mean, you can't go wrong with this entry-level Pixel 4a. So the decision is for you to make. Hey, let's go ahead and change the subject before debates and battles begin in the comment section why one OS is better than the other. Go ahead and check out this video over here as I compare two entry-level VR headsets against one another. And then that video over here, that's just a video that YouTube is suggesting specifically for you. Feel free to watch either or. Again, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.